with your mind, with your soul. Because words impart either life or death. My words bring life. They bring the face of heaven. They bring the heart of the Father. They bring eternity unfolded to you. And you heard something today that no other person in this world has heard. So you have some really divine revelation given to you about what church is supposed to be. It's supposed to duplicate the throne room. It is so filled with holiness and awe and love for the Father, but you get that love returned. And he shows up. And he's going to start showing up in a lot of places. I have literally sat there and seen the throne of God appear in sanctuaries with him sitting on it. And underneath the armrest of his throne are some creatures that I don't put in my pictures. They have 4 heads. The ones with the 4 heads hold up the armrest of the throne of God. The other living creatures around the 4, they just have 1 head. And they're amazing. The one with the lion is massive. And I tell people, I love running up the steps to see my daddy. And people go, why does he take you? Because I'm like a child. You know, he doesn't take some wise theological professor who 14 years ago, the first time I was taken, would still be studying that one event, checking every reference book, trying to reason it out and make it seem plausible. God doesn't do that. He shows up, manifests himself. You receive him by faith. It is a spiritual thing, not a mental mind normal thing. And that's why he didn't pick someone like that, because he knew a kid, when they find out something exciting, the first thing they do is run out and tell the first person they see. And I don't hide anything. If I saw it, I'm going to tell you. If you don't understand it, just pray about it. I don't have time, you know. My meetings are not researches. They're not lectures. They're a story of his glory. You know, we've heard enough of the word told to us that your head should be, you know, huge. It should be anyway. You should be filled with that word. But we need him. You need revelation. You can know the word, but the word of itself says, and all you're getting of wisdom and knowledge, get understanding. And you know, a lot of people don't know what the word says understanding is. It is knowledge of the Holy One. So what I bring is understanding. Knowledge of the Holy One. One of the most important things in your life you can get. Because then the wisdom you have and the knowledge you have of this comes alive when you know the person who wrote it. So we're going to have an amazing time, and I really do. I am blessed by the Father that he trusts me to speak for him. But let me tell you, he did train me for 30 years to speak with my mouth. I can't speak negative words. I can't hardly bear. If I'm in a room where negative words were spoken, I feel them, even if the people did it hours ago. It stays in the atmosphere. And if people start doing that, I literally feel like I'm being crushed. It crushes the life out of you. Don't ever speak negative. Don't think negative. God's not negative. One of the beautiful things about being in heaven is you never hear bad words, you know. I was raised where I couldn't even spell bad words. And I call them bad words, profane language, you know, that stuff. I don't do that. My mom would get a bar of soap, and it'd go in and out of your mouth a few times. It'd be the only time you ever did that. And so I was raised by people who believed in holiness, the old-fashioned way, plum switches and the bar soap, you know. So from the age of 8, I was perfect in the way I acted, at least at home, because my body didn't want to be punished. And I think my brothers made a hobby out of it. The plum tree had almost no branches left by the end of the summer. And my mom would let you go pick your own. A plum switch has little knobbies on it. And they can grow to 6 feet long. And my brothers would go out there and they'd get one this big. And my mom's 4'11". So by the time you were 10, you were as tall as she was. She'd march you out there and pick her own. So you at least try to get a medium one, you know, so you wouldn't go out there and get the bigger ones. But we had a Volkswagen van because nothing else would hold us. We had assigned seats. And she'd sit in the front and hold that switch behind her. And I know she had eyes in her head, the back of her head, because she'd never have to look like Zorro. And she'd get the right one. So my mom's writing a book, by the way. It's called Ye Gads. About raising that many. I'm one of 15, by the way. I'm number 3. So all the humor in my messages come from when I was growing up. And there's a lot of funny things. We have a lot of miracles. My dad was really a holy man of God. I say that because he loved God with all his heart. Everything within him, loved people, gave everything away we had. We didn't have a lot, but we gave it away anyway. And God took care of us. Never went to see a doctor, got healed. You know, we just asked Jesus and he healed us. We needed something, we asked Jesus and it came. And so I don't talk about faith. I lived it. I had to live it. And so I know what that is. And there's no other life I ever want to live than by the prophetic. The most adventurous, exciting life you'll ever live is by what the Spirit of God says to you. You know, you got to stop looking at the natural world. We have to live here for a while, but you can walk in the Spirit. It's an exciting journey. And I wouldn't take anything for what I experienced growing up. That's why I'm me. But the reason I'm like a kid now is because growing up I was a mother from the age of 8. I had to help raise all the rest of them. And so now, in 1996, the Lord walked in my home. He said, you're going to start acting like a kid, and we're going to start taking you on tours of heaven. And I didn't say no. And he's been taking me since 1996. So there's no way I could ever be here long enough to share with you everything I've seen. He catches me up by my spirit like he did John in the book of Revelation. And by the way, he's doing that with thousands of people. I'm not the only one. Some people think I'm the only one, and I laugh when they say that. I went, that's not going to happen. He takes thousands of people all the time. And some people have dreamed about heaven and didn't know if it was it. They'll tell me what they saw and went, you were there. You were there by your spirit while you were sleeping. And some people think I had this most amazing dream, but you were literally there. And it can feel like a dream. But people will tell in great detail some of the things I've actually seen there, and I can tell them, you were there. But he is, in this day and time, going to start catching congregations up and taking them. Won't that be fun to all come back and share with everybody what you saw? Father, you need to make sure the promise is one of those places. So I'm just really excited to be here. I'm going to share some about heaven this morning. Tonight, I'm going to get everyone stirred up and empowered and train you to release the anointing because that's what God is doing right now with his body. He's setting you up for the heaven invasion. He's setting you up for when he pours out his spirit over the whole earth on all flesh. And what his plan is to take that glory around the earth is his people carrying it and releasing it. The more you release, the more you get. And so that's what we're going to do tonight, and I'm going to also share about God's promise to the promise. You don't want to miss that. That's what he said. I got to tell him. I got to give him my promise. And so that's really why I'm here for tonight. But today we're going to learn a lot about heaven because I like to talk about it. Do y'all want to hear? Yeah. And you will hear a little bit more than there's pretty flowers and there's nice music and peace was there. Because I have literally walked through mansions, and people go, oh, you mean in a vision? I went, no, like I'm walking on this floor. I have tasted the food. I've smelled the flowers. I've seen the body parts warehouse. I don't like going there. I don't want to see body parts rolling around, not even in heaven. But the good news is they're going to empty it. And I don't know if you know what that means. That means at one point there won't be any sick believers on this earth. If there are no more replacement parts, there can be no more sick people.